Monday, July 7th. Hello and welcome everyone. If you're visiting for the first time, my name is Brian and I grow here in Southern California near downtown Los Angeles, and we're going to be seeing tomato plants and more today. This is the bulk of our kitchen garden, and we have a victory garden and homestead mindset. So as a result, we're able to grow most of our produce. The things that we buy are often things that it's very difficult for us to grow, like mushrooms. But for the most part, our garden provides for us, and it provides for us through this technique called succession planting and harvesting. And so you'll see that with our tomato varieties. So let's start off with Cherokee Purple. This is a slicing tomato, and we grow mostly paste tomatoes because those are the type you cook with. They make it into many recipes. So one of my favorites is this Blue Beach. It makes very big tomatoes, but it comes on later in the year. So we rely on another variety, which we'll get to in a second. Here's another slicing tomato. This is the beefsteak, and the plants are just kind of crossing over and getting on these trellises. So that's why it looks like this is like a multi-breed cocktail plant, but it's not. So the Blue Beach is right here, and then the mortgage lift, or I should say beefsteaks, right here. And then as far as practical paste tomato variety, this is the Costoluto Genovese. It's very productive. This year, the climate or the weather hasn't allowed it to be super productive. Normally, this plant will just grow tall and it will just keep putting out tomatoes. So we have a bunch here. I wonder if it's because I haven't been harvesting the tomatoes. So this is our Costoluto Genovese. So again, it can handle the cool and the hot. So it's very productive. We can do an early sowing. So these are February, late February. And then with succession tomatoes, this is a new succession that I'm testing out. This was like, when did we start these? Maybe in May or April. I think this is April. So we have, normally we have 3 planting cycles. I added a 4th one with these plants here. So San Marzanos, they come on later. As far as ripening, so Costoluto Genovese first, and then you got the San Marzanos that will ripen second, and then it finishes out with the Blue Beach. There's another big paste tomato variety that I like. It's the Oxheart, and we are growing them in a new area this year, a planting spot this year, and we're testing it out, and I'm finding that it's maybe not sunny enough to get big tomatoes, but to have tomatoes nonetheless from a spot is always awesome. What's down this way? We got some these are banana peppers. So blister them with some oil, throw them on the grill or a hot pan, sprinkle some tahini, and you got some really nice Mexican pepper appetizers. These are the poblano peppers, so really good as chili relleno. And then we got succession broccoli. So this plant puts out side shoots. We just keep pinching it off and we'll get broccoli. So we succession plant our broccoli and we get them year round. And oh, I just noticed we have a grasshopper here. We can feed that to our pet fish, or we'll give it to the chicken. So if it hangs out after this video, we're gonna grab them. Potatoes, we grow those year round. These are mid-pride peach, and they are the first to ripen. We had a branch break because it was so heavy with fruit. I do thin them out so that we can get larger fruit, and even still, it broke the branch. And this bed is our squash, and you'll notice I haven't been harvesting them. It's because, as you know, if you grow squashes, they get really productive. So we have one plant here and another plant there, and I've already started a succession plant. They're about I guess hand size, so they'll come on in the late summer for some squash. And then this way we have our herb planters. We got some Italian basil. We got different varieties of mint. And then we also are always succession planting the scallion. So this is Tokyo long white scallion. We got some Walla Walla onions that we need to harvest now. They're ready. They're not going to get any bigger. And we're going to harvest those. We got a bunch of haricot vert. So these are pinch and come again. The more you harvest, the more they put out. And then we have some succession scallion, or I should say shallots. I'm finding that shallots is something that's difficult to buy at the market. So this is that victory garden concept where you're growing things that you can't buy. So the victory garden was wartime and supplies were limited. You had to pretty much grow your own stuff. So shallots, difficult to find at the market lately. We use them a lot. Let's see if there's any. Let's just go up there real quick. We got the sprinklers on. This is a row of black turtle beans. These are bush plants. Let's see what's up here. This is our sprouting gailon. So I haven't been up here in a while. I really need to pinch these off so we can encourage more side shoots. Sometimes they're called broccolini. I hope the screen's not getting wet because we're getting some more of the peppers, banana peppers. These are cauliflowers and stuff. Oh, let me show you this bell pepper. It's been really good bell pepper weather this year. We're getting huge ones. And on another plant, it got so heavy the branches snapped. So there's a lot of bell peppers. I'm gonna walk out of this mist area and check the camera lens, make sure there's not a droplet on here. Let's see here. Let me just wipe it just in case. I can't tell because there's a bunch of droplets on my screen. These are Mirasol chili. When they're dried, they're known as guajillo. So we got a good number of them this year. And up here we have some citrus. Ellendale, the Graf took. And this is our Algerian clementine. This is a Shasta Gold. And here are our succession planting of tomatoes. So this is one that we start in June, and this is a succession that has worked in the past. So these are Costaluto Genovese, 2 plants. And then I got a Black Prince right here. This is a new planting area created last winter, and I'm very hopeful that we can get even a winter harvest of tomatoes. So we'll see. Stick around and find out. The reason I say that is because this is very sunny. There's not obstructions from buildings or trees or even our slope. And then also we have potentially a good geothermal feature in this in these brick retaining walls. They should absorb the daylight sun and then reflect that heat back. So maybe we'll get even more tomatoes than usual. That's the hope. So we'll see. And then we have some edamame here. Edamame is one of those plants I struggled with for the longest time. I gave up on, and then I got seeds from a friend and planted them, and lo and behold, they took off. And so we had a bunch to plant with this year. So I'm still having a little bit of a struggle with just where I planted. The critters will dig them out like a skunk. This is our reed avocado tree, and we have a 10 fingers of over here. These are all new planting areas. This is all new, work in progress. Don't mind the mess too much. Planting areas. So we have a 10 fingers of maple that I was testing to grow here on this Vago self-watering container, and it's kind of struggling a little bit. The fruit's not very big. I think I know why. I think it's because my soils has too much of the wood material, so I'm going to change out the soil. Should work much better next time. So when we started the video, you saw the one side of the greenhouse. We're on the other side of the greenhouse now, and we have a planter up here on our chicken coop, and we have some sprouting gailon, and then this is a cauliflower. I don't know if it'll make a good head or not. We'll see. We do grow and are able to produce big crowns of cauliflower in the summertime, so it is possible. We got some screening for as an obstacle for a coyote that now will come from that direction because we terraced everything. It's nice and flat for it. These are Kakai hulless pumpkins. So if you need pumpkin seeds in your recipes, these don't need to be hulled. Let's step down now. And over here, we'll get to eventually. We have this is our row of tomatoes that are growing here. It's not a new growing area, but it's a new to tomato growing area. So that's one area I was trying to test out. It doesn't get a bunch of sun, but in the afternoon it should get a lot of sun, but things have changed. The fruit trees have grown taller, so it doesn't get as much sunlight in the afternoon. Let's head over there and see. Here we have another bed of tomatoes. They're not doing too well this year, and when I eventually pull the plants, the roots will tell me what's going on. If I see root knot nematodes, then that's why. If I see that the soil's dry underneath, I'll know it's a watering issue. So not every planting is a failure, because you can always learn something from each attempt. Even the successes you can learn from, but especially the failures. So we have some Amish paste and some Romas in here. But again, this bed has gotten less sunlight over the years because the trees in the back grow taller and taller, and that's to the south. And because of our slope, it doesn't get sunlight until right now, which is late morning and afternoon, or I should say late morning, and then afternoon doesn't get anything. These are avocados. This is Pinkerton. We have a lot of fruit set this year. I'm just happy that the chickens and the ducks don't really pick at these. So that's been really helpful. Otherwise, everything has to be fenced off. This is our Lamhaus avocado. But let me go and take you to see more tomatoes. This is the Black Prince. Normally they're double this size, but again, this is not as sunny as it can be. Oh, here, these are our latest chicken additions, and they're integrated into the pasture now. I wouldn't say they're integrated into the flock, because the other chickens will peck at them, so they're by themselves right now, but eventually they'll form together. Right now they're still new, so they're off to them by themselves, but I'm happy that they're not being attacked by the other chickens. So let's see here. Okay, screening for coyotes, obstacles, slow them down. Here is the San Marzano. So you can see with the different varieties when they start to ripen. And again, for us, we want succession planting because we don't want a big, huge harvest that we have to spend time to process. And if we can keep things in the garden and harvest as we need it, it frees us up for other things to do, both mentally and time-wise. So that's one of the keys of making it easy, succession, and then keeping the produce in the garden. Here we have a lot of Himo Togarashi. They're starting to turn color now, and we're gonna let them dry, and we're gonna make a powder out of it, pepper powder. And in Japanese, they're called Togarashi. So sometimes you can ask for Togarashi, and they'll give you the powder. But Togarashi is not a dry; it's just pepper. So let's see. Yeah, San Marzanos, this is when they ripen, but they're not very big this year, productive, because we don't get enough sunlight. So we'll figure out something else. The goal is to eventually terrace some more as we make it up further up to the top. We get more sunlight. Here is Oxheart. Let me grab it. And this is probably, I would say, 40% of its potential. But we do still have a lot of tomato to work with. This is Alma paprika. So this one you dry and you can make paprika powder. And I'm thinking as far as our planting schedule, because of, again, time constraint and space constraints, we're gonna plant these maybe every 2 years, get a large harvest, and make our paprika powder. But as I'm talking this out, we want actually enough paprika powder to use up within a year. So maybe we want to plant fewer plants and then not have so much paprika that it's just sitting on the shelf. Let's see. All right, the last thing is just to take you back to where we started, but on the other side, so you can see our tomatoes. So let's find a way to get out of this screened off area. Is there anything else of interest over here? We have our Atamoya fruit tree there. And this is our Red Baron peach over here. Peaches are in succession. This is our blood orange tree. We have another peach variety over there. That is August Pride. And as the name suggests, it ripens in August. This is a desert gold, so it's supposed to ripen in May. And the mid Pride is early June is the earliest, but usually it's mid-June. Okay, let's see. I don't know if there's anything else of interest over here. Just some fruit trees, additional fruit trees. And here's the front side, or the other side of our growing area. The Castelluto Genovese. You can see how productive it is. The other thing I've learned about tomato and harvesting them is that if we leave them on the vines, they can stay pretty stable for a long time. If we pick them off the vine, even if we put them in the fridge, they start to break down. So another advantage of vine ripening them is to allow them to store for much longer. Otherwise, we'll have to start eating them or processing them. And this year, my goal is actually to start freezing some of them so that we can have tomatoes in the fall. But if our plan works out, we should have some tomatoes in the fall. But I guess freeze them for winter and spring when we don't have tomatoes. And we have some more soybean over here. You can see some of that struggling that I was talking about. There's a bare patch right there where there should have been some soybeans. And lastly, I'm seeing some of the cucumbers hanging right there. Those are the Sanjoku cucumbers, and I'm gonna collect them as seed at this point. So refresh our seed. And that's what's grown out over here. Thanks for visiting. We have other growing areas on the side yard, the small one, and then our front yard corner where we grow a lot of our other succession brassicas out there as well, and corn. Again, thanks for visiting, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day.